Hi everyone, it's Nancy, and I'm hoping that this is another lovely way to gather for yoga here at Operation Grow. I am recording the practice that you're familiar with. It's the one that we did the last time we were together, and I thought I'd use something that you're familiar with so that you have been through the practice before, and we can revisit that in a comfortable way. I have shared a link for the music to have in the background with Veronica, and so maybe that's playing in the background. And if not, I hope that you can move through your mind thoughts of gratitude and gratitude for bringing yourself to this class, gratitude for the decisions you made to come to this point in your day, this point in your week, this point until we see each other again. And also, being proud and noticing the skills that it took to be here, and know that your yoga practice has no judgment, that the way you show up for your practice today, the way you move, the way you think, the way you breathe, is all the experience of yoga. And the beauty of the practice is starting to learn to watch that as it happens in your body and know that it is part of your evolution in your steps today. So I hope you appreciate the practice. I'm going to move back to my mat. I hope that you're settled in on your mat and you can begin on your back. I'm going to get over to my mat. I'm going to go onto my back. So settled in onto my mat. We'll come to lying on our back. If there's anything in your back that's a little uncomfortable or stiff as you lie down, I know sometimes when I get here, sometimes I want to bring my feet to the ground to let my back relax. I can take my feet to the width of my mat and lean my knees in. We'll begin class by resting. We come to resting as Shavasana pose, or lying on our back. Here we allow our body to soften. We allow our mind to notice that we are supported by the earth in every opportunity for the earth to be in contact with our body. Rest here. Feel your body softening into the support of the earth. And allow your mind to focus in on your breath. Notice that as you breathe in, your body makes space for that oxygen to swirl through you. And as you breathe out, your body softens, your muscles relax, and you can rest into this posture, this Shavasana. Coming to a resting posture to begin our practice allows us to come into stillness, to notice that the earth supports us, and to let go of any attachments we had to the momentum of our day, to the activities or interactions of our day. And as we train our mind on to our breath, notice when you breathe in, notice when you breathe out. Our mind will slowly release any thoughts you might be holding on to. Know that anything that you let go of right now will float away from you. If you really need them, just like a lovely raindrop, it will come back to you when you need it the most. To engage with the rhythm of our breath, we're going to bring our knees up towards the sky, the soles of our feet to the mat. And we want our feet and our knees about hip width apart. Here, we're going to sweep our knees back and forth from side to side in rhythm with our breath. Begin by taking a breath in. And when you breathe out, allow your knees to sweep down to your right. When you're ready to breathe in, bring your knees back up through the center. As you breathe out, let the knees sweep down to the left. Following your breath, breathe in, knees come up. Breathe out, knees float down. Breathe in, knees are up. Breathe out, knees float down. We'll continue on that rhythm, training your mind and your body into the rhythm of your breath. And we'll continue this rhythm back and forth 4 more times on each side. Don't worry about counting. I'll keep track. Coming to the last, sweeping down onto each side. Continuing to mirror your breath rhythm. And the next time you come to your right side, breathe out and let your knees come down to your right side. Shift your knees so that your knees are together. And allow your left arm, your right arm to reach out along the floor beside you. We're holding here, continuing to breathe, holding in a twist posture. When we twist along the spine from the hips up to the head, we're opening space along the nervous system. We're inviting small muscles to relax and release. And we're making a new pathway, making new space for breath to come into the body. If there's anything in your body, in the upper spine, that would like a little more stretch, you can use your nose or your gaze, continue the twist. Take the twist away, take your gaze, pardon me, point your gaze away from your knees towards your left hand, continuing that twist up through the neck, up to your head. As you breathe here, notice if there's any tension in your neck or your shoulders. Allow the muscles of your hands and your arms to relax. We'll take 2 more breaths in this twisted posture. The next time you breathe in, bring your gaze back to your center. Bring your knees back up to the center, letting your spine be in a neutral position as you release your breath here. Following the rhythm of your breath, Breathe in to prepare to twist to the other side. As you breathe out, allow your knees to sweep down to the left side. Feel the twist through the muscles along your spine. And allow your gaze to look away from your knees. Let your gaze look towards your right side. We'll stay here for 6 breaths. Allow yourself to follow the rhythm of your breath and to scan your body for any tension through the shoulders, through the arms or the hands. Notice the sensation of twisting along your spine, maybe behind your hips or along your thigh. Continuing our restful postures to begin our practice, drawing into where you are in the world right now, drawing away from the momentum of your day, and focusing in on your practice. We'll stay for 2 more breaths. Allow your out breath to invite your body to soften. When you're ready to come out of the twist, use a breath in to bring your gaze to the center and roll your hips so that your knees come up to the center as well. Keeping your knees up towards the sky, allow your spine to be in your neutral position. The next time you breathe in, sweep your arms along the floor until they're extended above your head. The next time you breathe out, let your legs soften down to the mat so that you're laying long on your mat. Oh, if your body wants to stretch, push out through your palms, push out through the soles of your feet. Oh, feel that long stretch through the body. Oh, yeah. And let the body soften. We're going to continue tracking and trailing with our breath. The next time you breathe in, sweep your arms in a rainbow arc. Next time you breathe out, let them rest down at your sides. We'll go back and forth. Breathe in, sweep the arms up. Breathe out, let your shoulders stretch as you rest your arms on the floor above your head. Breathe in, sweeping the arms up. Breathe out, resting them down. Continue with this rhythm, breathing in, sweeping the arms up through the air. Breathing out, letting the hands rest along the floor. Coming into rhythm with your breath. Remembering that the breath is our great guide. It tells us where our energy is at in this moment. It informs us about what our being is asking for. Sometimes I'll do this practice and I just have these strong arms that sweep through and I take big, deep breaths. And I get great, deep exhales. Sometimes it's a soft, slow breath. And a soft release, gently floating down to the mat. Feel in for the breaths that your body is taking. Let that be the guide for how you move in your practice today. Before we move away from the sweeping arms posture, just allow your mind to notice any tensions, any twinges of tightness through your shoulders, or your neck, your abdomen. And when you exhale, invite those muscles, imagine those muscles relaxing, releasing, letting go of any pain that you're holding. And the next time you bring your arms to resting beside your body, leave them there on the ground. We're going to move ourselves from lying on the mat to sitting up on our mat. You're welcome to bring your knees to the chest and try a rocking motion to get there. You're welcome to roll onto your side and to push yourself to your seated position. Oh, I might need to roll today. Feeling some tension. Listen to the way your body talks to you today. Mine is saying, I did a lot of desk work today. I'm tight through the back of my pelvis and the tops of my thighs. I don't think I should do that rolling today. So I'm going to roll over. And there's a rocking motion. I'm going to roll over and gently bring myself to seated. There we go. When you come to your seated posture, we're coming to easy seat. It means your feet might be crossed. It means you might have one leg out or both legs out or both feet on the ground. Find a posture where you can sit and breathe with ease. Little test for me is, can I turn my palms up? Can I feel balanced and stable? Can I allow my shoulders to soften? If I have any tension in any of those areas, my hands, my shoulders, my neck, there are adjustments to be made. Sometimes I'll bring one of our meditation cushions under my bottom or a block. It means that I would end up sitting up a little higher. Be careful about that. Sitting up a little higher, which gives my hips a little more support, and I can be a little more stable. Each day I come to this posture, I check in and I make those changes from day to day. It's often different. In our easy seat, we're going to work through our cat-cow stretches. It means we're going to bend our spine in the C curve, going forward and backwards. We'll again come back to the rhythm of our breath. And when we do that, our chin and our gaze is a big guidance for this posture. So when we breathe in, we're going to lift our gaze, lift our chin, lift our chest, allow our back to bend. Big breath in here. When we breathe out, bring the gaze and the chin towards the chest. Let the chest push back towards the spine. Let our spine curve towards the back. Our shoulders are drawing forward here. Breathe in. Lift your gaze, your chest and your chin. Let the shoulders slide back. When you breathe out, bring it all in. Let the shoulders slide forward. Continuing at your own rate and rhythm of breath. When you breathe in, open up through the front of your body. When you breathe out, open up through the back of your body. We'll go through this 3 more times. And when you come through your 3 more breaths of the cat-cow pose, come to sitting nice and tall. Feel like there's a string drawing the top of your head up just a little taller. Let your shoulders relax down. Let them slide towards your spine. Turn your palms up so that your elbows and your shoulders can be soft. If there's any tension, it's a good time to stretch it a little, stretching the neck from side to side or turning from side to side. Checking in with how you're doing today. From our seated position, we're going to come forward onto our hands and knees posture. So moving forward onto our hands and knees posture. We're going to stretch down into our puppy posture. It means we want a long line from our hips all the way down towards our head. And the way we do that is right here in the pelvis. If you go through the cat-cow movements, you can feel the pelvis arching. So if I allow that breath in, I lift my chin. I also lift my tailbone. That's the arching that we can do to stretch through the spine. If I breathe out, try this. Pull the belly button up towards the spine, just like we did in a seated position. Notice that your hips turn down. When we go into puppy, it's just like the breath in. So breathe in, feel that, tip your tailbone up, lift your gaze. All right, breathe out, come to a neutral spine, allow your back to soften. We're going to want to do the same thing with our pelvis. We're going to push the tailbone up. As we walk our hands forward, you might have forearms come to the ground. You might go a little further. Let your chest come towards the ground. And here, tilting that tailbone up, getting a long stretch from your hips to your head. This stretch can be quite intense. Find the position in the stretch. It might be bringing your forearms back a little. Find the position in the stretch that allows you to get a sensation of stretch without it being painful. Or sometimes it can feel almost like pulling or closing in on us. So adjust in that stretch by bringing your elbows back towards your chest, supporting yourself at a spot where the stretch feels good for you. Know that every time you release your breath, it's an invitation to your body to soften. Let's stay for 3 more breaths. When you're ready to come out of the stretch, walk your elbows back towards your shoulders, walk your hands back towards your shoulders, and come to that tabletop position. There we go. We're going to stretch into our legs now. From this posture, we're going to take this right leg and we're going to put the foot right beside our hands. When you do that, you want to shift your weight over to your left, lift that leg and sweep it, sweep it, sweep it. And then scooch your foot over onto the mat up by your hands. You want to scooch it until you can get to a stretching lunge. So see how my back leg is down along the mat. My front leg, my foot, my knee is over my ankle. So I want to be careful that I can see my toes past my knee. And my hands, I'll show you this way. My hands are inside my foot. So I'm this way with my leg on the outside. Here, my arms are long and straight, supporting my upper body. And it's allowing me to press my hips forward. Here, stretching underneath, stretching along the front of my long leg, getting some stretch around our pelvis. Our hips do a lot for us in terms of our balance, our mobility, and our reacting to change in direction. When we're moving around on, snowy and icy sidewalks, maybe traipsing through a walking trail, our hips are where the change happens when we're reacting to all those different surfaces. So there's a lot of tension gets in there, especially when it's cold and damp in the winter like it has been. Just allow those stretches to happen. Know that when you breathe out, your body is invited to soften. All right. I could stay, you have to be careful with me. I could stay in those stretches for a while. So we're actually going to bring this foot more into the center of our body. I'll come and turn so you can see that. There we go. So I'm going from my foot being on the outside. I'm going to lift this, scooch, 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 so that that foot is in the middle. I'm going to put my hands on my knees so that I can lift myself up to a low lunge. Now, if your knee is starting to hurt, you can roll your mat up underneath your knee, or you can turn your foot and lift that knee so that it's not taking the weight anymore. We can still have the foot in our middle, hands to our knees, and come into a low lunge. If you're feeling steady here, breathe in, sweep your arms up. Could be one hand, could be both. So this is a warrior pose. This is where we use our breath in to feel strong. The next time you breathe out, you're welcome to take your hands back to the mat. If your knee is still down, turn your toe over and press into that foot so that you can hop forward. We're going to come to standing. All right. So your feet are underneath you now. Your feet are underneath you. Allow your head to rest down. Get some forward fold stretch. The next time you breathe in, take the palms of your hands to your shins. Draw your shoulders back towards your spine. And then lift a half lift so that your back is flat with the floor in the sky. When you release your breath, stretch back down. When you breathe in, sweep your arms wide like a butterfly. Come all the way to standing. And this time, let your palms touch. As you breathe out, bring your hands towards your chest. You can keep your hands in this position where we can press hand to hand, or if you'd like to, you just put your hands across your heart. We're going to try some balancing in this posture on the four edges of our feet. So noticing, just looking down at your feet, you want them about hip width apart. And I'm going to invite you to feel that you're balanced in the center. Just slightly tip over to the side and over to the other side and back and forth, finding the edges of our stability. If you're ready to try a new direction from your center, allow yourself to lean forward. I'll turn so you can see. Allow yourself to lean forward. Feel your toes grip into the mat and back. Ooh, don't go too far. Play with that range. We have that reaction that happens in our body when we know that we're getting close to falling. What's that like? And know that you can always come back from it. There we go. All right, we're going to move back down to the mat. Next time you breathe in, sweep your arms all the way up. The next time you breathe out, you're going to bend forward like a swan dive. Bend your knees enough that you can bring your hands down towards the mat. Let your head hang down, just stretch through the back. Bend a little deeper so your hands can go onto the mat. This time step back with your right foot so that we're going into a lunge on the other side. Okay. Remember that for our stretching, we put our hands inside of our knee and then stretch down into that lunge. You can let your knee go down to the mat and flatten your foot. And keep your arms nice and straight and under your shoulders here. Let all the stretching happen through your hips and your thighs. There are about 16 different muscles and tendons that make our hips work. And, you know, anything we can do for any of those muscles is a gift. Nice stretch here. All right, when you're ready to go up to that low lunge, you might want something under your knee, like rolling your mat up or putting a cushion under there. Or you might want to flip your back foot up so that your toe takes the weight. Lift your knee off the ground. Shuffle that front knee into your center. Take your hands to your knee and use it to balance, shuffling your feet the way you need them. Coming to the lunge. If you're feeling your stability, you can bring one arm up or both. Using your breath in to feel your strength in this warrior pose. There we go. The next time you release your breath, allow your hands to come back down to the mat. Get your weight forward so that you can step that back foot forward. Get your feet under your hips. The next time you breathe in, take your palms to your shins, pull your shoulder blades back, and flatten your back. This is a half lift. The next time you breathe out, soften forward. When you're ready to breathe in, sweep your arms wide like a butterfly, all the way up. Big breath in, full extension. And this time, let your arms float down to your sides as you breathe your breath. Our balance on this time in mountain is to come up onto our toes. So feel your feet beneath you. Feel like they're under your hips. Feel the strength of your legs. When you're ready to go up on your toes, use a breath in, breathe in, come up on your toes. Breathe out, come on back down to your feet. Step back so you can see my feet. Breathe in, up on your toes. Breathe out. Or when you go down, you can breathe out. We'll do that one more time on a single breath. Breathe in and breathe out. If you'd like to continue on this single breath, you're welcome. If you'd like to stay up here for 3 breaths with me, come on up. Let's find our stable spot. Sometimes it helps to look at something a couple feet ahead of us that's staying still, to remind our body about stillness. Take one more breath here. And as you release that breath, you're welcome to soften back down to the mat. Here we go. If you want to roll your feet or your ankles out, is there any? I know that worked up some tension in my feet. I was skating a while ago, and oh, my feet hurt my skates. The first 10 minutes of skating, my feet just ache until I kind of get warmed up and I get using those muscles differently. I think I've got a little left over here. All right, we're going to go into our goddess pose. This is one of my favorites. So from your standing mountain pose, you're going to step your feet about mat width apart, or just outside of your hip width. You're going to turn your toes so they're pointing to about 1 o'clock and 11 on if our mat was a clock face. And when you do that, so that your knees will bend out towards your toes, you've opened the hips, giving you a little more space to squat down. Next time you breathe in, sweep your arms all the way up. Breathe out, bend at your elbows, bring your arms to shoulder height. This is our goddess pose, or our cactus arms. Breathe in. And the next time you release your breath, let your knees bend out towards your toes, come down into the squat posture. Now you can see that I'm shuffling my feet and finding a different, needing a different distance between my feet for this posture. And you can do that too. Find what works well for you. We'll move in this posture to feel a little bit more stable. We'll breathe in. We'll straighten our arms and legs to star posture. Breathe out, bend your knees and your elbow, come back down to goddess. We'll do this 3 times. Breathe in, reach up to star. Breathe out to goddess. Breathe in, one more time. That's your star posture. Breathe out into goddess. Now it's going to look like we're doing this again. We're actually moving into another posture. Breathe in, straighten your arms and your legs. As you breathe out, let your palms come together, sweep them down towards your heart. And here, allow your knees to bend. We're going to squat down. We're getting down to the mat. If this feels good for you, you can join me. If not, you're welcome to just sit down. It's okay. I'm not there. And when you come to your Malasana or garland pose, this is a deep squat where my elbows are pressing against my knees are pressing against my elbow. I'm drawing my shoulders back. I'm drawing my chest up. I'm really feeling into the bending of my joints here. This is one we can work on when I'm there. There are lots of ways to move into this posture. Things like bringing that block underneath you. When I started this posture, this is how I did it. I was sitting on a block to get used to drawing my chest up, getting balance between my shoulders and elbows. Go on down to the mat from here. Work on that posture when I'm back together with you. When you come to a seated position, allow your feet to come together, the soles of your feet. Back so you can see that. Allow the soles of your feet to come together. They can be anywhere from 2 to 3 or even 4 fist distances from your seat. You can put your hand into that fist, sort of measure out. You want your feet at least 2 hand distances from your seat. And here, we're going to allow ourselves to softly bend forward towards our feet. Lead with your chin and your nose. Take your gaze towards the ground. Feel your shoulders roll forward. Feel your spine curl forward. Allow yourself to soften into this forward folding stretch. You may find that your breath feels different here. Give yourself 2 or 3 breaths to soften in and feel into this new posture. Draw back. Certainly, if your breath is not feeling easy, just allow for stretching to happen and breathing to be easy. There are micro stretches that happen even as soon as you take your chin to your chest. So anywhere in this posture is a benefit to your body. if you'd like to stay in this stretch, you are more than welcome to. When you're ready to slowly draw yourself out, use your breath in, keep your chin towards your chest. Let it be that your head be the last piece that comes up out of the stretch. So rolling your spine up to seated, letting your chin and your gaze be the last to rise. Slowing our practice down gently in a few steps, moving back towards our final Shavasana. We're going to engage our abdominal muscles a little bit in today's practice. So I invite you to bring your knees up towards each other, your feet towards the ground. And when you get there, you take your hands behind your thighs and you're going to tilt back so that you can balance and bring your feet off the ground. And here, this is a bit of a playful posture. There's lots of ways to use the abdominals. We're doing it right now. So if you're balancing on your bottom and your feet off the ground, you're working on your abdominal muscles. If you'd like to play with those muscles, here are a few ways to do that. The next time you breathe in, you can lift your right foot. The next time you breathe out, let the right foot go down. The next time you breathe in, lift your left foot. The next time you breathe out, let your left foot go down. The next time you breathe in, take your right hand up. Breathe out to let the right hand go back to your thigh. Left hand is next. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let the left hand go down. Now, if you're still with me, I'm going to keep going. If you'd like to go to rocking or you'd like to get your feet down and take a break, all your practice, you make the decision for what's good for you. If you'd like to continue, breathe in, lift both feet. Breathe out, let both feet go down. Breathe in, lift both hands. Let both hands go down. We're going to get a little tricky. We're going to go right hand, left foot. Breathe out. A little bit of opposite. Left hand, right foot. Just diagonal, opposite hand and foot. Don't get caught up on my left and right. And breathe out. And if you've been resting and you want to come for one more, this is our last one. Breathe in. We're going to lift our feet. We're going to lift our hands. We're going to take a breath in. And when we breathe out, we'll let that go. You can hug those knees in. Let your feet come back to the ground. Oh, let that lower back stretch out a bit. Mine's a little twingy today. Oh, yeah. All right, and this is that rolling I was mentioning before. I'm going to show you the rolling from a seated position. We're going to roll back onto the mat. So my hands are around my knees. I actually tuck them in quite tight. I tip back and I let myself fall at that beautiful curve of my spine, tuck my chin in, and roll back. There we go. If you'd like to play with that, you're welcome to. If not, remember you're deciding for your practice. You just get yourself back to laying on the mat. And here we're going to rest into your Shavasana. Laying back down onto the mat. I invite you into your Shavasana to lay on the mat. I'm going to come a little closer to the computer. I invite you to lay in your Shavasana. We come to our Shavasana. We come to our Shavasana at the end of our practice as a way to invite our body and our mind to filter through the experiences that we've just taken ourselves through. So as you settle into your Shavasana, notice your breath. Notice the rate, the rhythm, the depth of your breath. And know that your breath tells the story of how was this practice for you. Your mind and your body are already working through what worked great for you in this practice, and it's helping you there be a memory in your mind and your body of those great things so that you can call on them another time. Your body already knows what wasn't meant for you. It was good to try, and so glad you were there, but you don't need to hold on to it. Your mind and your body are letting go of those experiences you no longer need. But if you follow your breath, if you track your mind through the practice, is there a point in the practice that you appreciate? Maybe it made you grin. Maybe it helps you realize how strong you are. Maybe you prove to yourself that this is something you can do. As you rest in your Shavasana, following the rhythm of your breath, allow gratitude to become light in you. Let that light shine, filling you with warmth and nourishment, just like our sun. Let that gratitude become a smile across your face. I invite you into one last gesture together as we come to the ending of our practice. I invite you to bring a hand over your heart and a hand to your abdomen. I'm going to repeat my phrase of intention 2 times. I invite you to repeat the phrase in your mind or with your voice. And if you have any other words of intention that come to you as an inspiration, I encourage you to use those instead. Your words are your great teachers. Allow them to come forward for you. May my yoga practice heal and strengthen my body and my mind. May my yoga practice heal and strengthen my body and my mind. Thank you, everyone, for your practice today. When you come to your practice to know yourself well, you're stronger for that. And when we come together as a group, well, our community is stronger because we do that. And for that, I thank you. I invite you to remain in your Shavasana as long as it serves you. When you're ready to get up from your Shavasana, please do that in a quiet and gentle way to continue to create that gentle space for those around you. I'm so pleased to practice with you and look forward to being with you again next week. And to all of you, I say good night.